Hello, everyone. Dr. Victoria Skirbo here from the Seeds of Transformation Healing Center in Wareham, Massachusetts. It's been a while since I've been on doing cards, so I thought I would cover a few subjects. I'd like to take a look at the month of May. Today is May 1st, May Day, and I thought we could take a look at the United States, and we'll look at a couple of countries. And for the month of May, May promises to be a very transformational month. I know I say that every month. You're like, when's the transformation gonna happen? It's we're in the process. We're in the process. We are becoming more and more aware of the situations that we find ourselves in. We are becoming more and more aware of how things are structured, and how those structures either benefit us or don't benefit us. And we're at an inflection point, I think, where we have to decide, are we going to continue down the road that we're on? And this could be both personally, right, for each one of us, or collectively in the case of a country, or collectively in the case of humanity. So today, Pluto has, actually, it hasn't happened yet, excuse me, is stationing retrograde. It's going to start moving backwards. Of course, retrograde planets don't actually move backwards. They just look like they're moving backwards from the perspective of the Earth. And of course, Pluto is one of those planets we can't see with our naked eye anyway. So we would need a telescope, a rather powerful telescope, to see Pluto in relation to the Earth, and that it's moving, back, or what seems like backwards in the sky. Pluto is our collective soul, and Pluto is in Aquarius right now. The Aquarius is the energy of the collective. It's the energy of humanity. And humanity finds itself yet again on the verge of possible annihilation due to nuclear war or warheads or energy, or call it what you will. Of course, there's been two bombs, Hiroshima and Nagasaki, right? So there were two bombs, nuclear bombs, and there were two major meltdowns of nuclear energy, one in Japan and one in the Ukraine. So Ukraine, of course, was Chernobyl. Back in, was that 86? And then, of course, the Fukushima disaster that happened in 2000, and I believe it was 11. So on so many levels, we are tempting fate, really. The interesting thing about the bomb is that the bomb went off in 1945 when Pluto was in Leo. Leo is the pinnacle of ego. And to think that we dropped our first ones when we were in this place of, we have the right to do this, to stop the war, and of course we stopped the war, but we didn't stop war, because war became a business. And so, and with the Pluto return of the US, there's many things that we need to look at. One of them is probably the more recent, historically recent representation of the military-industrial complex. Now, we find ourselves embroiled in a situation in the Ukraine. It's like we got out of Afghanistan, not too dissimilarly than the way we got out of Vietnam. Have we learned anything? And of course, even the idea that we were in Afghanistan and Iraq, and that a lot of the wars that we've gotten involved in have been based on lies. Certainly, Iraq was based on a lie. Afghanistan was based on maybe a sense that we had to do something. Vietnam was based on a lie. Some people think World War II was, but I'm not sure about that. I'm not a history. I don't know history that well to speak to that. Although I do believe that we knew that the Japanese were coming, and we let it happen so that we could convince the United States that if we didn't go to war, that it would be the end of life as we know it. There was a lot of isolationism in the United States at the time, and there were a lot of Nazis and white supremacists at the time also rising in power. But where it really rose, of course, was in Germany. So, and of course it rose because of what? Because of war. So war doesn't end war. War just perpetuates war. And I woke up this morning, it's May Day. I'm just so excited. The spring is here. The flowers are coming up. Everything is green. It's my favorite month of the year. And yet there's this heavy pall that I feel over myself. I even just said to Michael, like, what is, I don't know what's wrong with me, but I am just feeling very grieved, grieved. Of course, it doesn't help that I listened to the news for about 5 minutes this morning. Not my usual news. I usually listen to Democracy Now! They had Daniel Ellsberg on, Daniel Ellsberg of the Pentagon Papers. And but I watched like just regular news, and they were talking about what happened in Texas with the guy who shot up his neighbors with an AK-40, no, AR-15. I don't know the letters and the numbers. I just know it's death. And that the governor of Texas said they were illegal immigrants, as if that makes any difference. The level of coldness and cruelty to the suffering of families and children and in all areas of the world. Then I was, of course, then they talked about Darfur and was it Sudan? Oh, God, I should know all this. With these warring factions that don't give a hoot about the people that live there. I don't, it's just like gang warfare. And the women and children that are suffering there, the women and children that are suffering everywhere. Who suffers with war mostly? Well, we all suffer, but women and children, of course, have the least power. So they're usually the ones who suffer perhaps the most and suffer in silence. So it's enough to make you wonder why you wake up in the morning. And yet I know focusing on those things isn't going to change it. And so how do you sort of realign yourself to your light or to the light, and in a way remove yourself enough to realize that if everything truly does serve, then this will serve as well. It's just it's not always easy. So let's see how the U.S. is going to do in May. And I think what I'll do is I think I'll just do a Celtic cross. The other readers will do like week to week, and I don't know. I always want to do that, and I never do it. So let's just stick with what I do. So this is for the US for May. Okay, so we start with the Five of Pentacles. So this is bankruptcy. This is um, reaching out your hand in need. There are people in the country that need help. People need help. So let's see what is in the way of the help. We have the Ten of Wands here, the Ten of Wands. There's so many different issues that we're just taking on. We're burdening ourselves with more and more um, issues, and this is a vibration of Sag, and so it's around our beliefs. Our beliefs are jumbled up. What we believe to be true about ourselves is jumbled up, not well organized, and preventing us from moving forward. There's just too many irons in the fire, or too many things in the way. It's not simple enough. We need to make it simpler. Let's see what's at the root of this. Well, they're starting to do it. They're starting to, uh, the root is that we have to start somewhere. And I feel like with this card at the root of the reading, that things are happening. Things are happening, but it's so young in it's almost like in its infancy. So sometimes it's hard to feel it. The past, we have the Knight of Swords. This feels like it's a reading about the military industrial complex. Okay, so we have the Knight of Swords here in the past. The Knight of Swords is often somebody who can be very impulsive. There can be some criminality with this energy, so that's a possibility. But it's all this like aggressive energy of raising the sword of justice, and going around and, you know, stamping it's just um a sense of having the right to take an action, perhaps. Let's see what's in the sky. We have the Five of Wands in the sky. This is change. This is ideas. There's a tug of war. This is the Republicans and the Democrats, right? Pulling one. We have the Republicans in the House. We have the Democrats in the Senate. And there's all this back and forth and pulling. Let's see, in the immediate future. So we're going to come face to face with our demons, with our devils. And what's our devil in the United States? Empire, greed. The court is bought and paid for. Now, maybe not everybody on the court. I feel kind of bad because we finally have some, decent ladies on the court, and now they keep talking about how corrupt the court is. And they get lumped in there, but I think they should be. Anyway, so this is, we're going to understand what is it that we are chained to? What are we chained to? Of course, there's all this addiction in this country. Very often the secret wars, these sort of CIA-ish like wars, utilize drug money to, do their illegal things and the like. So, and who suffers? But the Americans, right? Well, everybody suffers. It's not just the Americans. God help us. But it certainly doesn't help us when we do that. So there's this greed. There's this avarice. There's, you know, the banksters. It's all coming up. It's all coming up this month. Let's see how it's seen from the outside. This is a card of, the happy home, the 2.1 children or whatever it is. But it is a dream. It's becoming more and more illusionary as time goes on, where people can't afford the American dream. And maybe the American dream isn't even a possibility anymore. And it just remains a dream. Let's see the domestic situation. We have heartbreak. So there's going to be some heartbreaking news coming to us this month. It's very possible. I feel like there are a lot of older statesmen, older gentlemen, or women that are right on the edge of leaving this planet. And um, we're going to feel that. We're going to feel that. Okay. Hopes and fears that we can get our shit together and create something that's worth creating, that we have the power of intention, and we like the magician, I almost said musician, like the magician, we can concentrate that power to manifest what it is that would actually help us. Let's see the outcome. We have the Ace of Swords here, so a decision is going to be made. A decision is going to be made. It can be around justice. Look, we have two eagles there. How interesting. I don't think I've ever noticed the eagles, weirdly enough. Um, so there is something coming down, some justice coming down. Let's see if we can pull a major arcana. We have the Ace of Wands, another ace, new beginnings, two aces. That's good. The Knight of Wands. This is a very different energy than the Knight of Swords. The Knight of Wands is this is about travel. It's about moving, taking your sort of show on the road energy. So a decision is made, and then we have the Ace of Wands, which is the wand that the Knight of Wands holds. So it is a new beginning, new creativity, new stuff coming up, new creative stuff, and a balancing. So I feel like financially, oh God, what would I say? This is what I'd like to see. So this is what I'm going to say, because this is what's coming to me. But I'm not always sure if it's what's actually going to happen or what I just hope for it to happen. I That's why a lot of times I don't do a lot of cards, because I just feel so deeply about these things. It's hard not to try to put a positive spin on it, even though the whole thing I said at the beginning was like, oh no, why did I get up in the morning? But no, it's really good. It's good. It's good. So I see a balancing of the scales. I see things evening out. I see somebody is going to be held responsible for some evil deed that they did. And that's going to create um, a new sense of having something to believe in. I think it's where, as we examine our soul as a country, we we ask, what is it that, what do we stand for? What do we stand for? What is true? What is the true of it? What is the true of it all? Interestingly enough, the Ace of Swords in the tarot is and in the Kabbalah is Aquarius. Pluto is in Aquarius right now. And the Ace of Wands is Leo, right? That's what Pluto was in when we did the nuclear stuff. So and that balance, that we're coming to that point again, only now we're moving in the opposite direction, right? We're moving in the opposite direction. And we do evolve as a collective through the polarity point of the soul. And the polarity point of a soul that's in the world, when the world soul is in Aquarius, is Leo. But it's not the egomaniacal part of Leo. It's the Leo of the generous heart. It is the love. It is the heartbeat. It is the creativity. It is the light that we all have within us. Leo teaches us that we are all have that spark of divine within us. That's what this is. That this is the spark of the divine, and we have that within us. And so as we struggle to figure out how we're going to survive, um, and how we're going to organize the world, because the world is getting reorganized, right? This has been going on for a while now, of course, this shifting power dynamic. Um, Maybe one of the reasons why uh, uh, Putin went into um, went into the Ukraine. But it's all part of this, like, I feel like a lot of this very awful, like, everybody is a combatant. It doesn't matter if you're 10 or if you're a woman or if you're, no matter what it is, that people are willing to just take anybody out now. And there's such a lack of appreciation for life, and almost a deification of death that I just think that has to change. That has to shift. I think it's changing. I think it's shifting. I think most people in their heart of hearts don't want to see destruction. You know, they don't want to see people hurting other people. It doesn't make you feel good, or it doesn't make me feel good. Maybe I'm the only person out there. And then everybody is watching me because you're watching me and we're vibrating similarly. Let's see what's underneath it all. We have the Hanged Man. This says that we have to just affect the things that we can affect. What can we really affect? How we react and respond to life. That's really all we can do. We're not in charge, even though we would like to think so. We have a moving away from troubled waters. So there is an energy. We are moving into a more perhaps peaceful energy, or certainly a cessation in combatants. And then we have the goddess here, the Empress. And I'm not going to call her Russia. I'm just going to call her the great goddess, the abundance. This is a Venus vibration. It is located on the tree of life within the third eye, um, on the path of the creative imagination and creative intelligence. So this is about co-creating. This is about creating with spirit. So we can do that. We can recreate, but it requires us, the hangman says, we must connect with cosmic consciousness. We need to connect with the spirit and become conduits of light so that the light of the spirit has an opportunity to penetrate and permeate this dense physical environment that we find ourselves in this lifetime, and allow the light to shine. So again, it's really about the shining light. Even the devil has a light to shine. Even the devil has a light to shine. The devil knows the truth. The devil knows that we are chained because we choose to be chained. It's time to choose something different. All right. Well, I don't know if I actually in the reading I originally intended, but that's what came through. So I'm going to leave you with that. I would like to look at a few more countries, but I think I'll do them separately. So, so not to make this too long. So that is the May for the US. I hope you enjoyed that reading. Please like and subscribe. If you haven't checked out Marianne from Revealing Light, she has a new channel. It's what she does her podcasts on, and it's called Random Sage with Marianne from Revealing Light. I just did a podcast with her the other night, and it was a lot of fun. A lot of this stuff came up, I think, in that at that time too. But check it out if you haven't checked it out already. And I will see you again shortly to look at another country. Okay, guys, take care. Much love. Namaste.